put your ball in the trees and then you lip out the puck. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us, 'cause now you're listening to the Rough Cut.
Hello, 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 and welcome down to another episode of the Rough Cut Golf Podcast, where we are a week on from Open qualifying, dealing with the fallout of that emotional and chaotic week. And there's also been a hell of a lot of stuff going on within the world of golf that we will cover. And I am happy to say that you are currently wrapping your ears around the third biggest golf podcast in the UK, the second biggest in Cambodia, and we are number one in the mighty golfing Norway. No, almost got that right. In the mighty golfing nation of Norway, which is pretty useful because we are going to be going there, which we'll chat about a little bit in this podcast. I've got Kieran, I've got Mick alongside me to talk through everything. Gentlemen, how are we?
Very good.
Yeah, I'm still feeling a little. I mean, you must be feeling a bit raw, but I'm still reeling a little bit, from Open qualifying and the fallout of it. It's been a week on. You've kind of it feels like you've moved on quite quickly. Do you feel like you've moved on, or you're kind of just you've buried it, or what?
No, not really. To be honest, I mean, as soon as we finished that kind of podcast over Open qualifying, we left, and the next day we were off filming straight away. So it was fine. Like, we went to Formby the next day filming record breaks with Matt, and then we were Windermere, then we were Rockcliffe Hall. Like, we had this sudden spurt of stuff to take my mind off it. So, but yeah, this weekend was it was fine. But I went for a drink with a few mates on Saturday, and one of them kind of plays golf, and he kind of came into the bar. I had already been there for a little bit, and just laid his hand on my shoulder. And was like, are you all right?
Do you need prayer, brother?
Are you all right? And I was like, yeah, I think so. He had the sense that he wanted to stage some kind of intervention, but I looking back on that podcast and re-listening to it, obviously came across maybe a little bit, well, not a little bit emotional. I did come across as emotional because I was, but
it makes sense.
Yeah, but I've had a lot of messages asking if I'm okay, and
now settle it for the people at home. Are you okay?
And no, I'm just no. You know what? I'm more than anything, I'm just a bit tired. And we've got such a big, long month ahead of us now. I'm just a little bit. I need to find kind of some more motivation and get kind of excited for it, because we've got so much cool stuff happening. And in any other week, I'd be absolutely buzzing. But I'm a bit man, I'm just looking at this massive list and being got to get this done, and get through this grind. But I think after that, the places we're going are going to be amazing. So
yeah, I think the takeaway from it, obviously there's lots of takeaways from it. Mental game didn't show up when you needed it to, even though you had been rehearsing and practicing for it all year. You kind of, the fans, although it was great to see people come out, it probably weighed on you a little bit more than you would have liked it to. But the good news is that no one we know did particularly well.
No, I mean,
except Andy.
Carr did all right. Yeah. I think Carr was on the reserve list for.
I think he was 64th reserve.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. We were messaging before. I think he might have got down to 5th reserve.
No way!
Really?
Yeah. Enough people dropped out.
Yeah, but he's currently. When I was messaging him, he was currently sat by a pool in Portugal. So I've got a sneaking feeling he ain't going to rush back for it.
He didn't make it.
No, so yeah, Carter did okay. The amount of normally I wouldn't consider this a good thing, but the amount of psychologists who've messaged me.
I got a long email
offering help.
I forwarded you that email. Did you get it? Yeah.
And I've had a load more on kind of social media reach out, which is, I think, good. At least people are trying to look after my brain. But I need to get through the list and actually decide, if I'm actually gonna
if at all,
go see a shrink. Was it?
What do we think about influencers taking part in Open qualifying? Because yes, there have been lots of people who have said, listen, you had one bad round, just happened to be at the wrong time, or golf is flaming hard, and look how much you put in and how good the series has been. Lots of great stuff. But some people who are you guys shouldn't be playing anyway because you're just YouTubers? Or like, how does that
I think
how does that make you feel?
There was definitely straight afterwards, from my point of view, personally, first of all, there was this massive tidal wave of people being really positive and just really nice, probably because they could see how annoyed I was, for want of a better word, after the round. So a lot of positivity, big thank you for that. And then after that initial wave, like as the tide started to go out a little bit, you get that little wave afterwards.
That's the one that gets you as well.
Yeah, there's just a little wave, not a massive one. Like compared to the tsunami of support that we got, this was just like a little bubble. But then people started to kind of creep out the woodwork a little bit, and it's always like the same people. Like, when you do videos for a while, you get to know certain usernames and like certain people.
And here they are. So if you can go and send them some hate, that would be really good. We've got a list of all the people who said horrible things about that video.
Which, it's fine. It is.
Steve Williams 42. You've been banned forever.
And that's definitely a username somewhere. So Steve, that was just an example, and I'm sure you're a lovely guy. And there's a few more people being a lot more negative about the series, about like my chances of getting through open qualifying, and then other people's chances of getting through open qualifying as well. For me personally, the whole point and the whole beauty of the Open Championship is that it is open to enter. Like if you're a pro or a low handicap, you can enter this and throw your hat into a ring. It's one of the best things about it. The chances of me or any of the other influencers who you might follow kind of within golf, the chance of them getting through is very low. Like it's exceptionally low. The chances are that this year especially, the amount of people who get through regional qualifying won't get through final qualifying either, because that's where you have more ex-tour pros. That's where you have the guys from Live coming in. There's a very real possibility that if we're not careful with the Open, that within a few years, people getting through to final qualifying from your average club pro or, people who are decent players who just want to give it a go, they won't get through because they're just going to run into a bulldozer in final qualifying when all these different people start to come in.
We were talking about this before the round. Who was there last year at final qualifying?
People like Sergio Garcia, Michael Block, Matt Kuchar. This year you've got people like Justin Rose, Laurie Canther, Sergio Garcia, all the big hitters again. It's just mental. I mean, Robert Rock was also in
what a swing.
Yeah, normal sort of qualifying, regional qualifying. So it was interesting.
Yeah, so there's two ways of looking at it. You can say it's good because there's such a depth of really good players like going into these things. But also there's maybe a side of it that a lot of people who would have had a chance maybe 6-7 years ago aren't getting that opportunity to get through now, because you've got extra weight coming in as far as like these really established tour pros who just happen to be playing on a tour where they can't get the ranking points to enter. And that will lose some of the unique storylines that you could get from the Open Championship, which kind of helped to make it really magic. But, we see this a little bit as well throughout a lot of professional golf, like the PGA Championship, for example, that kind of I played in a few weeks ago. If you won that, you got through to the BMW PGA, Wentworth. But there's also, maybe 10 years ago, it was like the top 10 that kind of got through. Right. Might be a bit of an exaggeration, but the top 5
there was much more places available.
Yeah.
Was there less places available this year? Because obviously, it was only sort of top 7 that got through to Hesketh. I mean, other places would have been around about that sort of, point as well.
It was just the sheer amount of people.
Yeah, because it was 1,900 people entered this year. So and they had to add on a few.
Didn't they have to add another course?
Yeah, exactly. So. Which that would probably be the storyline for me, is that it does show that it is becoming more popular and like people are getting into it and stuff like this. But
well, this is the thing. It's like it's becoming more popular. There's more people trying to get through. There's more people entering. So let's put more of an emphasis on open qualifying. Let's get more people through to the Open from open qualifying. Let's actually make it a little bit more of an opportunity, because there's a lot of pros out there. who will just every year it's the only comp they play, and it's kind of like it's open qualifying, throw them out into a ring, let's give it a go.
Could get lucky.
Yeah, you never know. Like, you never know.
Could have a hole in one.
Exactly. So it's a case of being, trying to put a bit more emphasis on that thing, which I think it'd be good. Especially, from our point of view, we enter and we try and tell the story of it. So maybe we're a little bit biased, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I watched Rick's and Matt's, and I watched them all, to be fair. They were all really, really good to watch and stuff like that.
Carter's was very odd.
Yeah, Carter's was odd. Carter's was cool.
Andy Carter, I love you, but that was very strange. He was like, I didn't film the first hole.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I was like, what?
Because he was the only person filming.
Yeah, he was trying to film all himself.
Yeah, which is absolutely
He had a tripod
mental.
with his phone on it, I think.
And like some of the holes, because he was obviously had the honour, like he had no chance to just set up a camera and stuff like this. So it was obviously difficult,
Tough.
but yeah, it was really, really interesting. But I think the thing that what you've done, Pete, with this year is that obviously we've documented the whole thing of this year, this whole year. So like there's more of an emphasis on kind of our video than others, I'd say, because there's a bit more of a build up. Would you agree? So that was kind of the weird thing with when we're talking about how do we feel about a lot of the influencers kind of taking it and like doing it, which is, I thought was great. I thought it was brilliant, but like, it was kind of felt a bit rushed for them. Would you agree? Because they kind of like had no build up to it. They just, maybe had a few episodes before the open qualifying round, but there wasn't as much emphasis and depth that we went into.
Do you think I think the pressure was probably bigger as well because of that?
Yeah, I think if you're consistently building up to something across the whole year, then the pressure is definitely going to be a bit more extreme. I mean, I think pretty much all the old school UK crew, so Rick, Matt, kind of Andy, me, obviously we all took part. I know Jimmy Bullard was meant to be playing but did his back.
Yeah, Logan de Jong, who we played with at the PJ last year, he tried to qualify.
So it's one of other people. Yeah, it's one of those things because we got a phone call prior to the regional qualifying from the RNA just saying, are you planning to take part? Are you planning to film? And we're like, yeah, that's fine. He said, well, there are some restrictions because
we've not talked about this.
Yeah, because of the amount of people who are wanting to film. Stuff like, not wearing a lav mic, which you may have watched the video and wondered why I wasn't kind of talking too much. It's because I wasn't allowed to wear a lav. Just in case we picked up any of what the other players were saying and they didn't want to be recorded. So that was a direct result of obviously a lot of people taking part now. And for me, it doesn't really make a difference because what we're trying to do is different than what other people are trying to do. But also, we don't have like a monopoly on the open. Like the open is literally there for everybody to enter. Yeah, and if they want to film and tell their own story, that's better for everybody because the whole floor and the whole interest in it's going to lift. So yeah, I think it's good. It's more like with Andy. Like what I was actually scared a little bit about with Andy is that because he's filming it himself, that might be more like noticeable, and people might bring more of an objection to that if he's like. Yeah.
Can you hold on 1 second while I set my shot up?
I've got to set my tripod up and stuff, but I don't think that's what happened.
We joked about this at we went to Hesketh the first time we played that initial like two holes were closed, and I don't think you played particularly well on the day. But like we were joking about like we won't be able to do 3 cameras. You can't be like, oh, hold on a sec while I just get the drone up. Like,
yeah.
Andy actually tried to do that basically. Like, can one of you just stand there so I can get my framing right for this tee shot?
He did have a guy, but then a guy is like cameraman or I don't know who was going to do it, but they like cancelled last minute.
Yeah, he had a dropout, didn't he?
So I was like, he must have been feeling a little bit, really this day, this round.
And I'd just like to make a kind of announcement to Andy Carter. Like, if you do want to hire us to come and film, as long as you're not crossing over with Pete, you were coming down 18 while Pete was going down 1, so it probably wouldn't have worked. But if you're earlier next year and Pete's later, we'll come and do it, but we are very expensive.
I don't think we could have been earlier or more later than we were.
Did you see Andy? I didn't see him.
He was coming up the 18th as we were going down the first.
I didn't see him. I was talking to Carly at the time, so I was kind of walking over. Obviously, we were walking left,
That was to the right.
Yeah, that was to the right. Yeah, so I didn't see him at all. I wish I saw him.
No, it was. I thought he was going to be hanging around after because he had a chance of getting in the playoff.
Yeah,
but he's
he was all the way down in Bristol.
Yeah, cars.
He was down to Bristol.
He's not sticking around for that. I think for us, I mean, what everybody else does with it is obviously completely up to them. I think we need to I think we need to build it out like a little bit more. Like the whole point of this year was to plan it across the year, playing different comps, film those comps leading up to it, and then obviously taking part in open qualifying. But to give again myself a little bit more of a chance to get through that regional stage, it's continuing to play. It's continuing to build on what we've already done, and the only way of doing that is actually playing in comps. But the only way I can play in comps is if we film it. Like, I can't just go and play because there's no time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So we would have to get a calendar video out of it. Otherwise, you'd be away for maybe 1 or 2 days for the comp, and we wouldn't then have you here to film for those 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, we were looking this morning at a few different things that we need to get filmed over the next 2 months, and realistically, from now until like pretty much the 3rd week of August, like there's no time. Like we're doing something pretty much every single day, including quite a few of the weekends. Like it's just like absolutely solid through that period. So if I was to be like, okay, well, I'm going to take 2 days off to go play in this event.
Yeah.
And
take one of us with you.
Yeah, well, not even that. If I was going to go and not film it,
right? Yeah,
it'd be completely pointless, and it would have this huge knock-on effect from everything that we're doing. So, if we are going to do it again, then we do need to build it out.
You can imagine Jacob's face when you're like, "Oh, we're not doing that video that we had planned," and him having to run through the schedule again and like rejig everything.
Change absolutely everything.
I think it comes down to. Like I thought this season of Quest for the Open was really, really good, and Mick has kind of been your sort of baby to it. So, very well done with all of them. I think
although I didn't do all of them.
Oh, you didn't do all of them? No, obviously Jacob did the other one, didn't he? The last one.
Jacob did the one.
You did 1 to...
I did 1 to
8?
I did 1 to 6. Jacob did 7 and I did 8.
Right, okay, yeah.
Because there's clips the Hesketh practice round is the one that Jacob did.
Right.
Because I saw it on my computer this morning. I was like, I didn't edit that.
Yeah, that's it.
Where did that come out?
So I think we kind of got that, but I just think, everything of all this just comes down to planning. You say we ain't got time, but like we can make time. Well, we can be planning into next year and seeing what we can do. Whether obviously a big problem for us this year was the weather. The weather was terrible, January to April, and a couple of comps got cancelled. So, let's maybe go abroad, go to, all these sorts of places that will have some sort of competition on. There's competitions all around the world all the time. So just things that we can think about.
Trying to book himself a holiday, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, it is actually that easy. Like to go and get yourself into it.
Oh, Pete, I've just done this little mini tour in Bahamas.
Mauritius,
yeah. God, I think it looks really good. I think this will really help you in your game.
These sorts of
I'll
things,
volunteer for that trip.
All these sorts of things that planning can, and then in those January to sort of April time, your game's already sharp, going into it. So just a few things that we can look at going into the.
I think also what it would take is you saying no to some stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like we've said a lot. We've said yes to a lot of stuff. I think the reason that the next 2 months, 2 and a bit months looks a bit mad is because we've said yes to some stuff which popped up, which are great, which are like obviously great opportunities. We've spoken a little bit about Norway, Germany. Like there are things coming up that we've gone, oh yeah, cool. We'll go and do that. If you were going to play in comps, you'd have to start saying no to things like that. So it's about balance, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we have done it a little bit. We have done it better this year. There's no doubt about it. I think the issue that we have is because we do need to film it. If we want to, and I want to continue playing in comps. I do want to do the Quest for the Open again, and I think.
So is that an official announcement for next year?
I think so. I think we need to plan it again a little bit more and kind of understand what worked well, what didn't work well. I think that the most nerve-wracking thing for me, and it is something I do think about, like there were 2 videos from Quest for the Open this year that we went into like without understanding what the title or the kind of thumbnail and stuff was going to be. Yeah. So we went into those videos blind. Now, thankfully, one of them kind of came tied first in.
Yeah.
And then the other one had like my best score of the year. So they kind of took care of themselves.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. You mean you didn't plan those things?
No, they weren't scripted.
Oh, really?
It didn't.
Oh, sorry, guys. It's actually scripted for me to win
Yeah,
this
I called all the players together on a grid.
Yeah.
I said, "This is my scorecard.
You guys just plot yourselves around.
Here's
it.
what's going to happen." So that's again. So we've got like, let's say comps coming up. We've got the Leeds Cup, which I want to film. So that's the oldest trophy in professional golf.
The oldest, the actual physical
Yeah,
trophy.
the actual trophy. We're playing for the oldest trophy in professional golf. So there you go.
There's the video.
There's the video. So it doesn't really matter how I play. So I can go into that with a clear mind, really figure out, the course, try and play, try and enjoy it, which is something I definitely didn't do at open qualifying.
However, you say that going in with a plan means that you play more relaxed because you know what the video is going to be. But your evidence contradicts it, because the two videos that you've just stated, the ones where we didn't have a plan, you won and you played your best golf of the year.
That's true.
I don't think that was, I didn't, summon up superhuman golfing strength because I was like, oh, we don't have a title for the video.
I can imagine what the thumbnail's not going to be.
But it certainly would allow me to be, a lot more relaxed. So it's trying to figure out what the angles on those events are going to be, and it does sound a little bit unromantic, but the fact is that if we want to do it and we actually want to make a video series out of it, people will have to want to watch it.
Yeah,
and
if no one clicks on it, then it doesn't pay for itself, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think that obviously going into this year and like what the Quest for the Open over those episodes has built up, it had built up a following it, and I think that's what we did very well this year, was that it built up that following, it built up that anticipation, and everything got to the crux of this regional thing. This was the the big thing, and obviously it didn't happen, but we built it up, and I feel like we told the story of what open qualifying is.
Well, I think the reason for that as well, the reason that so many of you guys, and you have messaged me a lot with positive comments about the series, so thank you. It's more about the actual, I do like playing comms, and I do actually want to get better. And it does,
contrary to popular opinion,
and it does feed through. Like, I actually want to become a better golfer, and this year overall, apart from that absolute monstrosity of a round last week, I have.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I do need to remember while I'm, crying to myself in the dark corner. So how to then evolve that, how to keep getting better, and how to kind of make it more interesting. That's what we need to have a look at.
You talk about the horror show. I mean, it was hard. It was hard for us to walk around and film because we could tell that you're, parring 1 and 2, like even. Oh, I actually need to play this back to you, but I think it didn't make the edit. But there's a bit where you're stood on the tee on hole 1 and you look down the fairway, and if you're not watching on YouTube, you'll have to just imagine, but you look down the fairway and you go like that. And it was hard for us to film because we knew that you weren't comfortable and you weren't playing good, and we were frustrated. You were frustrated. You were probably annoyed because people had come and you weren't providing them what you felt like you wanted to provide them, which was a good show and some good golf, which you were definitely capable of playing. Those are the negatives. What did you learn from that round of golf? Like, what did you learn about yourself and your game?
Was that rain, by the way?
It is rain.
Yeah, it's rain,
Yeah, welcome to Manchester. The summer was the last 4 days. That was it.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think the most pressing thing I learned was that a lot of the work that I've done kind of building into this, like with my swing, for example, that really did fall apart under the pressure, because when I was watching that video back, like some of the swings, like some of my backswing was incredibly short. Like, so I was obviously kind of tense and I wasn't kind of relaxing. And that's all down to kind of how I was approaching things mentally. So even though I have done work on that this year, probably the most work I've ever done on that, it's something that I've always bypassed mostly. It's obviously not enough, and I do need to keep working on it. That's going to be the most difficult thing, because again, going back to the actual videos that we make.
Yeah, you've always said this.
nobody wants to watch a video of golf psychology.
Mental game, very hard to put in a thumbnail.
It's just like, again, and don't people listening to this might be like, oh yeah, I'm really, really interested in that. That's fine, and you might be, and great, I am as well, and I need to get better at it. But it's the hardest thing to film. It's the hardest thing to make engaging, and it would only work at the end of the process. So I have to basically have I don't know what it's going to be realistically if I do this over the next kind of 8 months or so. Months and months of working with someone, months and months of practicing and getting better. And I can only really make a video from it at the end result.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of time and, energy investment for something that that people aren't necessarily going to understand in a video.
Yeah. I mean,
you can't tell people what's going on in your brain.
Well, I can. It'd be terrifying.
Yeah, actually, this is supposed to be a PG podcast.
Don't want to
hold on to that for a second.
I don't want to know.
But, it's hard to get what's going on in your head across to people.
If
I can only use the right music, the right amount of times.
If people could have heard what was going through my head at Open qualifying, that course would have been empty. People would have been running for their lives if they could hear what was going on through that.
I think you should bring back Brandon from Myrtle Beach. I think that was one of the big differences of I felt that at Open qualifying that was different to Myrtle. Obviously, you ultimately played better and you drove it better, but you didn't have that person there with you to just Brandon was just chat, keeping you loose and everything like that. Obviously having, a couple of us on the bag, I just don't think that was the play.
Yeah, maybe there needs to be a long-term Quest for the Open relationship with a caddy.
Exactly.
You're hired for Quest for the Open.
Exactly.
Come to my events.
That was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because, David didn't, and there's no offence to David or Jacob, they had no idea about that golf course, really. So, just those sorts of things can really help you along, sort of thing.
It was more, to be honest, it was more to do with, wow, it's absolutely smashing it down.
Yes, it is.
It was more to do with the fact that I just wasn't enjoying the day. I wasn't talking. I wasn't, I was very kind of insular, which is something which we haven't been in comps this year because we've been filming. So that's definitely a lesson that I need to take forward on that. And that's definitely my biggest takeaway. And, the one thing we've done really well with this series, which I am really happy about, is talking about that long-term kind of investment of time. We had those good results kind of in the middle of the year, pretty much because of the work and the practice that we put in at the start of the year. So that's why we need to really start thinking about now kind of work in practice building up to going into next year, which involves playing in comps and all the rest of it. So it is just planning, and it's it's investing the time.
So you need to find some sort of tour in the the Middle East where it's hot during Christmas, and we'll all go and
literally
take us to, So we're announcing it now. We're going to play in the Malaysian mid-level pro tour.
Ah, yes. God, very well supported, the Malaysian mid-pro level tour.
Anyway, final qualifying is today. So if you are playing in final qualifying, or someone who is, go and play well, absolutely smash it. We hope you get into the Open. The guy who we played with, whose name is now escaping me, Jake Hibbert, he is playing in final qualifying today, so let's hope that he gets through.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Next episode, we'll have a very quick look back, and we'll see if anyone who went through regional qualifying has managed to get all the way through.
Okay, good idea.
So people who didn't just go straight into final.
Yeah, very good idea.
Who went all the way through.
I like that.
So other than that, what have we actually got kind of going on? I think we've got a video from Old Head.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're wearing the top.
You do like a merch, don't you?
He's wearing
you got Lehinch and Old Head.
Yeah. Fully Emerald Isle today.
You are. Kieran's wearing... I don't think I've ever seen you wear that T-shirt before.
This is what Pete got me this for Christmas. This is Miami Dolphins. I actually really like this top. I found it the other day.
Oh my God, you're wearing black.
I'm wearing black. That's so weird. What a surprise.
You're wearing black.
You're wearing almost entirely dark colours again.
Yeah.
But what was it? FootJoy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
when
It's a stupid story.
Black, white, and red.
Footjoy have like
Red.
very kindly given like the guys gear to wear this year as well, and kind of had a look through the catalogue, picked everything out. And it came through to my house, so I was sorting it all. I was like, okay, right, get the list out. Okay, there's Kieran. Okay, that's pink. That's purple. Okay, yeah, that's good.
Oh, if you were at Open Qualifying and you saw the pink shirt that Kieran was wearing, that was from Footjoy's kindness. So thanks for that, Footjoy, for ruining everyone's eyes.
I was sorting everything through, and I was like, right, okay, so what's it? Okay, this is Mick. Okay, t-shirt. Okay, black. Okay, I'll put that over there. That's fine. Okay, next up. Okay, what's this for Mick? Okay, trousers. Okay, black. Okay, that's fine. Hoodie, black. Mick, okay, cool. And anyway, it carried on all the way through until Mick had literally a complete Undertaker's wardrobe of Footjoy.
Yep.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
It was like ordering golf clothes for like an emo kid.
And what it's for someone who's like it's like for someone who's colorblind. Like if you can't see colors, blue flower, red thorns. That's how I ordered my Footjoy stuff. I got black. I got grey, I got white. I branched out. I got some navy shorts.
Dark navy.
Yeah, really dark.
And you're not colourblind.
No, I'm not. But yeah, it was good. Anyway, Old Head video's coming out.
Old Head's coming out.
And then we've got... What's after that?
So I think it goes Old Head. We've got the Irish videos coming in. I'm pretty sure it might be a Record Breakers video.
K Club?
K Club is there somewhere.
I think Record Breakers is on next Monday.
Yeah.
And then K Club's like Thursday?
I don't know anymore.
Yes.
Frankly. Like we've got, that's 1, 2, I think we've got like 6 or 7 videos like in the bank.
Yeah.
We are, like the Record Breakers series is back with Shotscope and Fryer.
Oh.
I know a lot of you guys like that. So that's going to be coming kind of next week. Which we've got some... I'm actually quite excited about this series because, again, we've got some interesting stories and interesting courses. So I'm really excited for you to see those. And then we've got the ones from Ireland. Then we're going to Germany tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And that's with BMW. So that's going to be the BMW International Pro-Am. And they've organised like a Creator Cup.
Oh.
Who's in said Creator Cup?
Kind of got me, obviously, unfortunately, 4 right. You got Martin
Four left as well.
You got Martin Borgmeyer.
Borgs. He's got small shorts.
He's very tiny. He's got massive legs, though.
Yeah, he's a girthy man.
He actually has normal size shorts. He's just got massive legs. You got Gareth Bale.
Of course you have.
Who has 52 million followers on Instagram.
It's too many.
Well, it's got the Real Madrid,
But look, listen, he's obviously one of the best footballers of the last kind of decade or so, more. But I didn't know he had that many followers on Instagram. That's a lot. 52 million.
He was
a lot.
very, very good.
And that's just his hair's account.
Yeah.
Jesus. He's massive. I didn't actually realise. So
you go to Real Madrid and you just get like millions of followers. Like Bellingham's on like
contract.
Kieran speaks from experience
Bellingham's
because he's
like,
played for Madrid.
He's on like 45 million. Bellingham's on, like these sorts of things.
Do we need to do any like England related talk while we're here, or because Bellingham did score an overhead kick yesterday?
By the time this is obviously coming out tomorrow, and then by the time next week podcast came out, would have played Switzerland.
Yeah.
So well done for getting through to the quarters. It was a real shame about that performance in the quarters. Thanks for coming home after that 2-0 defeat.
It was weird. I had no idea. I thought yesterday it was on at 8:00. So I was doing. I've worked like pretty much all the week, and I've done. I did Ballybunion as well, which is coming out as well, and I did all the traces for that Luke video. Mm-hmm. And I finished the traces at like 6:00.
God!
No, honestly, and then I was like, I put in the group chat, where's everyone watching the football? And like, they're like, it's on now.
It's already started.
And I was like, oh my God. So I turned it on. So I did see.
You missed nothing.
Yeah,
You missed them scoring and us passing sideways.
Yeah, and I turned it on as 1-0. So
listen, this isn't a football podcast, but I promise you this is true. Okay? Towards the end of the first half, England were passing it around in their own half. I was like, I need the toilet. I got up, went to the toilet, came back down, got myself a drink, put some food in the microwave, came back, and they were literally in the same position, still passing it. It must have been like 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, it's mad. At about 85, we were watching at our friend Ellie and Sam's house. Thanks to Ellie and Sam for hosting us and the kids. And it was about 85 minutes. And I was like, I was in such a bad mood. I was cursing Bellingham. I was saying all this horrible stuff about how they were all overpaid and underworked and all privileged. And I was like, right, I'm getting my shoes. I went to get my shoes, unlaced them, and then he scored.
My shoes.
I'm like, we're going home after this. The kid's got to go to bed. I was like, I went to get my shoes, put my shoes down, and then they scored. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll let you off.
It turned into a bit of a... We shouldn't have gone with this too much longer, but it turned into a bit of like a Southgate masterclass, didn't it? Because obviously he didn't make any subs in the first half, and everyone was like,
it was a disaster class.
What is going on?
He just got so lucky.
He's got so lucky. Well, we should be out, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. But it turned into, because you got into extra time, like, we've got 4 subs, 3 subs is like.
And what's worse is that the people who helped Kane score his goal were all subs.
Yeah.
So Palmer
Tony
crossed it, Mainu put it back into the box, Tony headed it across, and Kane put it in.
Anyway,
yeah.
Don't watch football. Watch golf. It's way more interesting.
Kane's a good golfer, though, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, well, now he's in kind of Germany as well.
Oh.
Where we're going.
There we go. So he might be there. Maybe Kane, Bale, and Peter Finch in a 3v3 football match.
If they got knocked out, he could have come over.
Oh, yeah. Could have done that.
But yeah, so we're playing in this Creators Cup anyway, the International Open. There's 3 teams. I think I'm playing with Alex Fitzpatrick.
I was going to say, we're going to tell people who we're playing with?
Yeah, as far as like the pros concerned. So
it's going to be good.
I think Beef might be knocking around as well. So it's going to be a good kind of day's filming. We've got a party to go to tomorrow night. Anyway, it's going to be great. And then at the end of the week, we're going to Norway with Osio, and we're going to Lofton Links. Now, if you haven't seen Lofton Links, if you're driving, obviously don't when you stop, or if you are just sitting down enjoying this through your earbuds, just Google just Lofton Links.
Lofoten.
Links. Ton. Lofoton.
I don't think it is.
Or Lofoten.
Yeah.
It's EN.
I remember, that's weird enough. I was in a like a bar in Manchester, and I was talking to these Norwegian guys and was telling them about Lofton Links, and they pronounce it like Luften.
Luften Links. So if you are driving and you can't Google it, what you should do is just imagine what heaven looks like for a golf fan. Like literally ludicrous views of the ocean, the linksy-ish kind of turf,
Wow.
We're watching flyovers of it right now. It is insane. And the sun never goes down, so that's ideal.
It doesn't go down. Obviously, my big hope here is the one thing we do need to factor in is this is in the Arctic Circle. Like, we are literally going so far north.
Oh my God, I didn't think about how cold it's going to be.
Everything that you're seeing here in this beautiful sunshine is obviously because it's on the website. Like, they're not going to be posting the 60-mile-an-hour wind and the hail. So I'm hoping, sending up a big prayer to the golf gods, that it is as beautiful as this. Because if we get 24 hours of this kind of sunshine, it's going to be the best videos ever. Just look at that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's
absolutely incredible.
Very
So
cool.
we're going there with Osio. We're going to get a couple of vids done there, which is going to be hopefully absolutely fantastic. And I don't even know what we're doing next week now. So I'm just taking it one day at a time.
You're going to Germany and then you're going to Norway. Just say yes, book the flights and turn up.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see about that. And then, I have no idea what's going on after that.
Well, what has been
The Open?
The Open. I'm working at the Open.
Yeah, that is how checked out this man is right now. That he has literally forgotten about one of his highlights of the year, which is going to the Open and doing the on the range commentary.
Yeah, but so I'll be working at the Open all week. So if you see me up there, say hello. I'm actually going over. I think I've got to get up there on the Saturday.
Yeah,
this time.
you have. It says live at the range the weekend before, and I'm like, that's the Scottish Open.
So I think
no one's going to be there.
I think they might be like just making sure the setup's right. Like the first time we did it at St Andrews was a nightmare. Like we got there on the Sunday and it was all relaxed, and then nothing was working.
Excellent.
So we had to get in at like 5 o'clock in the morning on the Monday just to make sure that like the mics were connecting to the cameras. It was all a nightmare. So maybe that's what they're doing this time.
Also, RNA, if you want to hire us to come and do it, we'll do it with a couple of DJIs. We'll get it covered.
That's not going to cut this.
It'll take us a week and a half to edit it, but it'll be good.
It was I have to say, it was the first time where I've actually been involved in a full-on live production, like on course, and it just completely changed my perception of what goes on as far as like live sport. Mm-hmm. Like the the criticism, which is rightly leveled sometimes at golf commentary and golf coverage and all the rest of it, was my attitude was greatly smooth, shall we say?
Right.
From that experience,
you were humbled.
yeah, the understanding of like certainly presenters and commentators and the amount of things they have to juggle. Yeah, it's very different than you might think.
Did anyone watch the Marcus Brownlee's?
Oh my god,
like,
I did.
tour, mate, it was unreal.
The golf tech thing.
The golf technology thing, yeah, it was.
Do you know his first video was a golf video?
Yeah, I saw that.
It was his swing at 13, 14, 15. Of like there is 3 videos.
You know with these mics,
yeah.
if you don't touch it, it stays exactly there.
They're inanimate objects.
Well, I just have to turn because
Well, yeah, just don't.
well, yeah, if I turn like
Just
that,
get-
then you can't
get
hear
closer
me.
to the
and
mic.
you know.
Get closer to the mic. Get further away from the mic.
Oh, now I've lost my complete.
Marcus
train of
Brownlee.
thought.
Marcus Brownlee.
Brownlee, yeah, and he was talking about like the shot traces and things like this,
Yeah.
and like the broad. Oh, it's so cool.
You got a shout out as well.
What do you mean?
Did you not watch the whole video?
No.
At the end, he just like went over to the corner. He's got a little shrine with your face on
way.
it.
He said the best traces in the world come from the Peter Finch channel.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Have you watched the video?
I don't believe you.
Go
I
back
have
and
watched
watch it.
it,
Yeah, go
yeah.
back and watch. You must have got an ad during that bit.
Skip. Did you skip? You tap that right side of the screen.
Yeah, you double tapped it.
Oh, that's a shock.
And that was when they shouted out your island flag traces that you've. But Marquez, if you want some good traces, give Kieran a shout and he'll sort them out for you.
I've done for Luke Conn. I've done the USA traces as well. So
Wow. Yeah,
I do Norway traces for Lofton as well,
Yes.
which is like red
It's red and
Red and blue?
and blue and white.
I don't think there's any white. No, I think it's just red and blue.
No, oh, I don't know.
I think there's a bit of white in there.
I think there's a bit of white in there.
There's a bit of
sunshine.
something surrounding
Yeah.
the cross, isn't there?
blue?
There's a-
I think, is it a double blue?
I think
And
it's
we
a-
are idiots.
Yeah.
No, there's a bit of white in there.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, see,
Google.
Yeah, surrounding the blue.
it's literally
Yes.
going to be like. It's
Red, white, and
literally
blue.
going to be like a USA tracer. I might use the USA
So you
tracer.
don't need to change anything.
Yeah.
God, so lazy.
Cool. Unbelievable. Talking about, I don't know how we're going to get to this
Talking
one.
about unbelievable.
Talking about unbelievable. That's very true. I did see this in passing the other day, but I thought it was like it was something that was done at like a local muni somewhere. Mm-hmm. That I looked at, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no,
that's
that's
not
not real.
happened. They're lying. But no, this is actually a true story. So Frank Bensel Jr. in the US Senior Open in Rhode Island, he had 2 hole-in-ones on the same round, back to back. So on the 184-yard fourth, he had a hole-in-one, then repeated it on the very next hole, a 203-yard par 3 fifth.
Long holes as well. Like
And
they're not.
back-to-back par threes.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Back-to-back hole-in-ones. Because one thing I did see when I kind of looked into it a little bit more as well, he also had 5 bogeys on the front nine. He finished 1 over on the front nine with 2 hole-in-ones. It must have been like the most random... Well, it must have been quite surreal.
That's a very Matt Fry thing to do, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he says, the kind of article I was looking up, he said, the odds of carding 2 aces in the same round is 67 million to 1. There are no odds which can calculate back-to-back hole-in-ones in the same round.
If there's any maths people out there, please
Yeah,
just
if you're a
try it.
Statistician.
Yeah,
So
just try it.
So 67 million to 1 for 2 back-to-back, for 2 hole-in-ones in one round, and then for back-to-back, it must be more than double.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
18 times more unlikely. 17 times more unlikely.
Like, that's
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 something like that. Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
know. I literally
No
did
idea.
not
Someone work
listen
it out.
in maths at
Do
school.
some maths.
If this was what my maths teachers actually taught me, I might have listened a little
Yeah,
bit
so
more.
this is it. And we should go into my mum and my brother are both teachers. We should go into the depth of what teachers should actually be teaching us.
Wait.
That's important.
Yeah.
Isn't your brother a maths teacher?
He is a maths teacher.
Put it to him.
Yeah, and he did
Yeah.
Put it
stats
to
at
him.
university as well. So
Well, there you go.
he
He should know
Send this
So,
to him now.
Pete, I'll give you a shout on the old family group chat. You need to work out the odds of this for me.
This feat, though, and this is particularly my favourite, actually, it has been done before
What?
in a professional competition by Mr. John Hudson in the European Tour's Martini International at Royal Norwich in 1971.
Wow,
It was a big event.
I like that.
The Martini International.
As in the drink.
Do you remember those good old days when alcohol companies could sponsor
Yeah.
sporting
and,
events?
and cigarettes.
And the Benson and Hedges cup and stuff like that. Oh, God.
Hey, the old F1 Marlboro Gold cars.
Oh, what a fire! That car livery was so good.
Back in the day when none of these things were bad for you.
Yeah,
Do you remember? When,
Well, I
they, were
do,
good,
like-
when they were good for you.
I've only grown up with it being
take up vaping instead. It's way more healthy.
Or
vaping.
totally wicked or whatever that crap is.
Yeah, what's that? Oh no, that's
The snus.
yeah, no, that's
Oh, God,
like
man.
a caffeine
Yeah,
packet or
snus.
whatever they are. Yeah,
That's snus, yeah.
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 that's-
Ben White likes them.
Yeah.
That's tobacco as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tobacco.
Yeah.
Mate, you know that like
Don't try them, kids.
loads of like
Disgusting.
footballers,
Be healthy.
Yeah,
even like golfers as well. Like Brooks like
Well,
some.
if you wanted an advertisement not to do something,
Yeah,
there
Brooks
you
Koepka
go.
does it.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Tiger do it as well. I
Yeah.
think Tiger's been pictured with it, but I could be wrong with that. I swear.
Tiger would say, "How dare you accuse him of taking drugs? He would,
he would never do that. Do that and drive
never do that."
and then crash.
So, congratulations, Frank! Incredible achievement there.
Yep.
And John
And John, yeah, John, if you're listening.
Hudders.
One thing which I found incredible and also incredibly surreal, the US presidential debates, yes, we are going there, have been taking place in the United States of America. And although we have absolutely no real clue what's going on over there, these two were going at it, trading barbs. And golf came up, obviously, like it does, where Mr. President Biden was talking about how he got his handicap down to 6 when he was vice president. And Donald Trump came back, basically said...
Liar.
Absolute
liar.
I've
seen your swing. I've seen your swing. Your swing's awful. Awful swing.
So it went from...
I actually was quite impressed.
That was pretty good.
That was
pretty
actually
good.
really
It's
good.
probably the first time I've ever attempted it, and it went quite well.
I think
He's
it's good with the
practiced
mics as well.
He practices in the mirror, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely
night
has.
after night, he's
He
practicing.
definitely
And then he went. So anyway, that was happening. Like you do, leader of the free world. Conversation, completely normal. And then Bryson pops up on X, like he does,
Yeah.
and he's offering to host a match between Trump and Biden to settle the debate.
Go on his YouTube channel.
You know what? They should actually just settle the presidential race via an 18-hole match.
Neither of them would last 18 holes, first of all. They're both too old.
No,
Right.
no.
Second of all,
It's fine. Stroke play. They've got boogies.
Trump cheats. I'm just saying it. If you've read Commander in Cheat, you will understand that
Yes.
his golf game is not what it says it is. I've seen Biden swing as well. There was a shot of him on the range. He tries to hit the ball forward and it goes backwards. So
Yeah, I did see
it's
that one,
not
yeah.
going to be good. What's the title on the thumbnail?
Or would that be brilliant, though? Or would that be brilliant? Like, Trump's got like a 6-foot putt that he usually just picks up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Biden's
yeah.
like, no, you.
Oh, sorry, your Secret Service guys can't move it closer to the hole.
Yeah, you're gonna have
That's
to
not
put
allowed. You're on YouTube.
God, just imagine. And then, yeah, Bryson. Then that tweet got kind of so many likes and so much interaction. He's just become like peak. Bryson now just speaks for the whole, basically, YouTube community.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'd have him as our spokesperson.
He's just like peak YouTube influencer now.
He's great.
Never seen anything
What
like
a turnaround, by the way.
Yeah.
What a
An
turnaround.
amazing turnaround.
it. I just, like, what a world that we're living
Yeah,
in.
assaulted by a rope one year, everyone's favourite the next.
Viciously attacked.
Speaking of everyone's favourite, people who went to California this year, raise your hand. Peter Finch, raise your hand. You did. We had dinner with one of the nicest and most talented golfers I've ever met, Mr. Aaron Rye. And he went absolutely nuts.
He shot level on the final round to, finish tied second at the Rocket Mortgage, and he's been up there a lot this year.
has.
He's actually been playing really, really well. Like because he doesn't do anything like spectacularly well, something like that. He's just like very consistent all round, and he's just like getting these great performances in. Didn't quite get over the line last night, but he's certainly someone Luke Donald talked about, like having his eye on for the Ryder Cup next year already, and now he's just like consistently putting in these performances. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see him in the Ryder Cup next year.
That would be good. Double glove Aaron Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just love golfers who do things like their own way.
Yeah.
And he does things his own. He does things his own way, but in a very humble manner.
Yeah, definitely.
Like he's not shouting about anything. He's just like the nicest guy ever.
But it's all from his sort of junior days, wasn't it? Like his dad bought him head covers to show a mark of respect of like, you know, be respectful to your things and take care of them.
Yeah.
And then he's had gloves since he was like 8, I want to say.
Double glove, yeah.
I think it was 8. Yeah.
I think wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if like people use head covers, Kieran, to protect their clubs?
The in joke is that
Can you imagine doing that?
Kieran does not use head cover, not even on his driver, putter. None of it's got covers on it, so all of his stuff is dinged to hell.
Driver I have.
Wouldn't it be like a lack of respect, like Kieran just said there?
Oh, are some of those clubs not his?
Some of them not yours.
Are some of them borrowed from the other room and not got covered?
I can't.
I just like ease, you know. I get the pencil bag, you know.
Oh wait, the pencil bag. Where's the pencil? Is the pencil bag from here as well?
You know,
I can put a zip on that.
I dread to think what that pencil bag's like.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
It's a white.
It's more like a pencil case right now.
DeChambeau
just
pencil
split
bag.
down the
I
road.
hit someone else's golf ball in a competition yesterday, on Saturday as well.
What, out of anger?
No.
Off the tee.
No.
Did it go to your fairway? Just whacks it away.
Yeah. I got 2 straight penalties. Had an 8.
Wow,
Terrible.
that's woeful.
I've not done that in a long. I did that in a comp once.
Yeah, because I was playing Trixon 3 and I was just in the trees on the right, and then I found a Trixon 3 and it looked like it had, you know, a Z star. It was, you know, I thought it was my ball, hit it, and then it obviously rolled over to like the other side of the Trixon, and it was like a massive black dot, and I was like, that's not my ball.
That's not
so
me.
that we went back and found it, and I had an 8.
What's the ruling there? Do you have to replace the other person's ball?
No, it wasn't any of like playing partner's ball. It was obviously a ball that was there.
Oh, just a loose.
From-
just
yeah,
a lost
from-
ball.
Right, okay.
So it was a 2 straight penalty.
Wow.
God,
And they,
that is annoying.
yeah,
it's
it's annoying. Yeah, I was going
Hole in
well,
one on the next, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that would have helped.
Back to back.
That would
Yeah.
have helped. That would have helped.
I think.
Okay, so we are coming up to the hour,
Yeah,
but that's fine. If you want to talk about this last thing, that's great.
I do.
Because when you showed me this, I was baffled.
Yeah, this is wild.
This is absolutely absurd.
This is something which, if you're watching this podcast, this is something which is going to be a lot easier to see, obviously. But the Italian Open.
Wait, hold on 1 second. I will let you get to it. If you're watching this podcast, this will be much easier to see.
Exactly. If you're listening to this podcast, you can just pull it up on Google, which is what I was trying to say.
I'll just put it up in like I'll put a
Yeah, but if you're listening to it, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see it.
If you're
That's what
listening to the
I'm trying
podcast, this will
say.
be really hard to see because you're not watching it.
Marcel Siem won the Italian Open. The man who literally just wears every single emotion on his sleeve. So congratulations, great win. Something which was very odd during the Italian Open this week is whoever built the grandstand around the 18th was not a golfer and had absolutely no understanding of where you should put a grandstand. This grandstand portion of it, I think where the hospitality was, is basically on the fringe of the green. Now, you may think, Pete, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why would they put it
Why would
there?
you over-exaggerate like that?
Come on, you're just saying it for effect. No, this thing was on the green. At one point, I'm pretty sure it was about 6 paces from where the pin was positioned. So quite a few of the players were just whacking their approaches into the grandstand. And if you got this grandstand at a certain point, at its closest point to the green, you take 2 club lengths relief and you drop it onto the green.
Absolutely absurd. And you've hit 3-wood in like from 180 because you're like, well, I'll get a free drop.
I mean, that would be an exaggeration.
Some pros do that.
But
don't
that's
they?
the thing. Like
Yeah.
some people do. Certainly, if you're in a spot of bother as well, like on the PJ Tour as well, I've noticed it a lot more. If you're going for a par 5 in 2, for example, or a par 4, whatever, and you're in a bit of a dodgy lie, and there's danger towards the front of the green. There's no danger in flying everything over that water, for example, hitting it into a grandstand and getting a free drop. There was a few people, certainly last season, because it was on a certain hole.
Like Harbour Town on the 16th.
I'm not sure where it was, but players were deliberately hitting it over the grandstand
Oh, I know
from
the one you
certain
mean.
positions, because what they did, they got a line of sight relief. So you can't play, obviously, over a grandstand. It's an immovable obstruction. You can just drop it in a certain position where you can then miss the grandstand.
And all of their drops were in perfect lies because of just how it was set up.
Yeah, and it's one of those rules that really annoy the general golfer. Like, you hit it miles away, you get punished. Whereas if you're playing in an event which has a grandstand around a green, you could just whack it all over the place into a grandstand, get a free drop, and then potentially
I wonder if there's a video in there somewhere like, I play this course with PGA Tour help. And it's like,
you've said that before.
You get like spotters on every tee shot, so you never lose your ball. Well, imagine where the grandstands are. You just smash it into the grandstand, call free drop. Like, there is a pole here that they've put up for shot tracer or whatever, and it's in my view, and I can go around it, or I've hit it over there. I want to get a free drop. Cool, you get to move your ball. Like, the things that these guys get to do on the PGA Tour that we all have this conversation. Like, I feel like I could shoot under par if I got all the free stuff that they get. Do you know what I mean? It's so annoying for normal golfers to watch it and be like, how is he getting to move it from there to there? He hit it there in the first place. If you don't want to be blocked off, don't hit it over there.
I think Bryson, I've got a sneaky feeling that Bryson on the 18th kind of had that in his mind as well. If he hit it left, he was able to go, but obviously, he got caught up and it didn't, the grandstand wasn't in the view. But I think he kind of had
at the
that
US Open,
in mind. Yeah, the US Open, yeah.
God, it really annoys me.
You know what? It's the first time I've actually realised like how old Mick's become in like the last 2 months. Oh, I was watching football. He's overpaid, underworked. I'm going to go put my shoes on. You it's over there. Why don't you play it from there? Anyway, so I think that's pretty much everything. I think we've covered everything in the world of golf there.
Yeah.
I think that's golf completed.
We've finished golf.
Yep. For the
Record Breakers is coming out next week. Old Head this week. What's coming out tomorrow? What's out on Wednesday?
Nothing tomorrow. We got the 1v1v1 this week from Old Head. So that's like an hour and 6 hours long.
It's a long boy.
Hour and 6 hours.
An hour and 6 hours. It's between an hour and 6 hours long. I know that.
Do you want to guess? Oh my God! Do you want to guess how much the raw footage for Record Breakers 1 is?
I don't reckon it's loads because it's a shorter course. I'm going to go 2:01.
3:08.
2:40.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
It's me and Fryer.
There's a lot of nonsense. I'm 3 holes in. I've cut out 6 swear words.
There was
and 5 things that definitely shouldn't end up on the channel.
You were definitely like the goofiest you've ever been. You two haven't really done much filming in the past. Oh, sorry, not in the past. Like in this year, and like this was your time to be like, right, this is good.
It was very stupid.
Like some of the times I'm like, it's a good job I got a monopod because there's a few times I'm like laughing behind just as you're about to hit because he's saying something in my left ear that's totally inappropriate that will never get shown.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
There's actually on the tee, I think on the 3rd tee, you say to Matt, Mick's going to have a nightmare editing this.
Yes, yeah.
It is. But we shouldn't have said that because then Fry just leans into it.
No, he's like, oh, really?
He's like desperate to slip something through.
So honestly, it gets way worse on that Windermere edit.
Okay, excellent. Looking forward to that.
Way worse. It's so funny.
Well, like when we start to lose our minds at Rockcliffe, it starts to get...
Oh, yeah, Rockcliffe is even wilder, yeah. Yeah.
Great. I'm going to go back and do that now.
It's pretty crazy.
And yeah, I'm going to try and get through this to-do list and get all excited about this week. Kieran, what are you on editing the podcast?
Medicine podcast, and then I'm off to Benidorm.
Oh my God, I forgot that.
Benidorm, and
he's going to the dorm.
And then a total kind of change in, I don't know what the word would be, but like I'm going from Benidorm to Wimbledon.
Wow.
Which is very cool. I'm very, very excited for that. Come in with my mum.
Wow.
You're going to be to Benidorm?
Yeah.
No,
and then he's going with his mates to Wimbledon. It's going to be a great time.
You've changed.
Are you old as well?
I'm not. Honestly, I am a bit scared of going to Benidorm. I'm not. Not to lie.
It's a scary place.
It is a scary place, so I'm a little bit scared about it. But
just go take a buddy and go everywhere in 2s.
We'll see what happens.
You'll be fine.
But, yeah.
Get one of those like safety belts.
One or two
Because you
drinks
could
a
both
night.
wear
Yeah.
one.
One or
That's
two
what I
drinks
mean,
a
like
night.
I say, I said to myself, I'm going to take this easy, and then I'll just know I'll get
Yeah,
one
but
in
you're
me.
not going to take
Yeah,
it
but
easy.
that's the thing. You won't.
I won't. Which is
That's
bad.
like, I'm hitting iron off every tee today. Of course you are. Gets driver out.
Yeah. There we go. Is what it is.
If you want to take it easy, you take it easy.
Yeah.
Don't let yourself be peer pressured.
Yeah.
Oh, he will be peer pressured.
Yeah.
He'll have 9 drinks at the airport.
Yeah. We're teeing off. We're flying at like 6 o'clock in the morning as well, which is just not ideal. But yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Anyway.
What a weird
All
end
right.
to the podcast.
Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do, and make sure you follow us on your favorite podcast provider.
Yeah.
We're going to go now before the roof caves in from Ray. So
Also, if you haven't already, please could you do a review on the podcast place where you listen to it? Write something hilarious that we'll all find funny and give it 5 stars. It would help because we want to get to the top of these charts. Cambodia. Come on,
I
Cambodia.
want to be number 1 in Cambodia.
Yep.
Right.
Bye,
See you
friends.
later.
See you.
See you.
Bye-bye. Why would you leave 5 stars on that, by the way? It's awful, isn't it?
Terrible.
So unprofessional.
God.
Literally
Benidorm.
collapsed at the end.
I'm leaving all this in.